YouTube has all kinds of new features. So if you're joining me on YouTube Live, drop me some comments and let me know that you are here. But we're just gonna do the recap live for June because if I don't do it live, it just might not happen. There's a lot of stuff happening. I've been on vacation and there's a lot of stuff that I've been trying to do for my summits and stuff. I do the whole wellness summit every year, and to make those things happen, I had to hold off on the reading a little bit. And so let's just go through the six. How many did I read? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Oh, I actually kind of read more than I thought. But some I finished in June. Mind you, these are all books that I finished. I might have started it in May, but this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I finished 9. I thought it was a lot less. I thought it was like 6, but clearly I do not keep track. So I'm just gonna go in order of the ones that I read chronologically, okay? So the first one was All's Fair in Love and Pickleball by Kate Spencer. And these are mostly arcs that I read this year or this month. And so keep that in mind. I think most of them are actually out by now because I've been trying to, for the ones that I'm approved for, I'm trying to read in the order that the newest one comes, or the first one to come out is the first one. So first in, first out kind of thing, right? Or first out, first out. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm trying to apply my accounting in here. Okay, so All's Fair in Love and Pickleball. It is a romance. It is a former star tennis player and comes into the pickleball world because you know pickleball is like all the rage these days. And I've actually started playing pickleball too, and it's kind of fun. So it was all, and I used to play tennis as a kid. So all of that was just fun for me to see. And there's this dynamic between pickleball players and tennis players might be looking down on pickleball, right? And all of that. But I enjoyed this book. I ended up giving it 3 stars. It was, let's see. So the biggest thing was I kept going, oh, come on, girl, come on, for a lot of these things because she's just clueless to intentions of the people in it for the bad person. She's like clueless to that, and then also clueless to the good intentions of the good guy and the assumptions. And anyway, so I enjoyed it. I just didn't give it a 4 or 5 stars, right? So that is what it is. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. So if you've read some of these, I want to learn and I want to hear. And I'm looking at my Goodreads right here because that's where I put all of my recaps. And so I'm jogging my memory too as I'm going along. And I'm seeing people hop on. Where the heck do I see my comments? If you are commenting, can you put your Janet? I don't know what can you put your Janet means, but now I can see comments. So fantastic. At first I wasn't seeing. So thank you for commenting. I don't know what can you put your Janet means. So if you can clarify, I'm guessing it's a typo, but alas. If you're asking for the handle, it's Amyns Reads on Goodreads as well as Storygraph also. And I have a Fable book club for July. I do a once a month different book, and it's Severed Heart by Kate Stewart, because if you have not seen any of my other videos about Kate Stewart, absolutely love her. And she's having an event right now that I couldn't go to, but it was also a hybrid event, so she wasn't going to be there in person, so I couldn't meet her in person anyway, but I was really, really sad to miss it. So for anybody that is a Raven, and did you hear the news? I'm totally digressing from my recap, but she is now a bestseller, which Kate Stewart, I am so, so excited for you. We don't know how long these authors write for, and then they're finally recognized, right? And she's one of my top favorite authors. You'll see my, where are my it's up here. The Ravenhood series are up there, right there. And I still have my arc of Severed Heart that's waiting for me at work because I've been out and it came while I was gone. And so anyway, I have a hard copy of that as well, but I'm listening to it on audiobook. It is so fantastic. And I'm gonna make a vlog about that because I listened to it on the plane and I was like crying and the person next to me thought I was crazy. But anyway, can you put your hand on the camera for a I have no idea what that means. Am I missing it? Lamar Jackson edit. I know who Lamar Jackson is. I don't know what the left hand, and I don't know what that means. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. overall, let's see, what did I say? Okay. Overall, for All's Fair in Love and Pickleball, here are things that I did really like. There were these intergenerational relationships that I absolutely loved. So pickleball, there were these like older people that frequented the club, and it was like her family's club, right? That was passed down to the female main character. And there were these people that were just found family. And so I loved that aspect of it. There were a lot of things that I loved about this book, guys. It is a romance, like I said, it is a sports romance. So if you like sports romances and you like tennis sports or racket sports, go check it out. Go check it out. The second one I read was Off Menu, and I love food. So if you have seen my This Japanese American Life YouTube videos, or maybe you came here from that, you know that I love food. And so I was really hoping for a lot with this book, Off Menu by Amy Rosen. Amy, so I liked that too. And this was a book, right, where she pursues her dreams and goes to the restaurant world. So I ended up giving it 2 stars. Um, I think I just really, really wanted to love it, but I couldn't. I loved that she was pursuing her dreams. I loved the relationship she had with her girlfriends, but there's this being the other woman thing that happens, and I do not love that. Um, the excuses that she made, I did not love that. Um, the way that she portrayed herself to her friends also for all of that stuff. I think the other woman thing, the cheating stuff, does not sit well with me. And so just know that going in, if those are triggers for you, this book may also not be for you. But there are a lot of things, again, in every single book, even if I don't love a book, I try not to DNF it. I try to keep going and finish it, because there's always something I enjoy out of a book. Even if I make it 1 star, there is still something that I will take away from that book. So would love to hear your thoughts on any of these that I share about. 8 Million Ways to Find Happiness, The Wisdom for Inspiration and Healing from the Heart of Japan by Hiroko Yoda. So as a Japanese American that has grown up in America but has a lot of roots in Japan with extended family, and my parents are from there, immigrated from there, this book was really fascinating to me because there's so much about Japanese culture and spirituality, and how there is a root of this spirituality, this theme into the culture embedded itself, even though people might not say they are religious. It is just kind of this embedding. And so I know, as I have grown up, I am Christian. I identify as Christian, and I have a faith that is different from the traditions of the Japanese culture. And so I've always wondered about, like, well, should I be partaking in these things? Should I be, there's just things like going to your ancestral grounds. You like light incense and do all these things. And so I have always wondered, like, okay, how do I put these in my life? And I want to be respectful. I want to honor my family. But how do I do that with the faith that I have? And so these were just very fascinating things to think about throughout this book. And so if any of that relates to you, or if you relate to that, definitely go check out this book. This one is not out yet. I want to say it comes out in December. I can update if you have questions about when these books come out. This one has not yet come out yet. But it was also interesting that I learned at the final author's note that her husband is actually the person that wrote another book that I talked about Japanese culture, but he is not Japanese, but I think has been immersed in the culture of Japan and learning about it and all of that. And I had no idea that it was Matt Alt, who was the person that wrote the other book about pop culture and Japan that I had talked about on This Japanese American Life. And I might talk about this book over there too. I never know, like, when to put things from Japanese books that I read onto my This Japanese American Life versus on Amyns Reads, so you might see some crossover. If you're not following me over there yet, I invite you to come if you love anything Japanese food, culture, etc. Full food, culture, travel, multicultural life, raising Hapa children, all of that. I talk about it in This Japanese American Life, so go join me over there too. if you haven't already. So that was 8 Million Ways to Happiness. That is, I gave that 4 stars because it just gave me a lot to think about. And well, I don't know if it was really about like ways to happiness, but it's about ways to embrace yourself, I guess, ways to embrace culture, ways to embrace the way you think about things. So it was an interesting read. The Romance Rivalry by Susan Lee was another one that I read. This was YA, and I got to meet Susan at a book event for Jesse Cusitanto, so that was really cool. If you are in any events at San Diego from the San Diego Library or the Meet Cute Bookshop and things, Susan Lee is often the person that does the questions with the author and interviewing and interacting and all that kind of stuff. And so it was great to meet her and then to finally read one of her books. And I have another one in my queue that is in my NetGalley, an arc that is coming out that is an adult romance, but this one is a YA romance, and it is so cute, guys. It is about two college students, but college students, or were they high school? But if you love romance books, you're going to love this book because it is like an ode to romance tropes. They are basically like social media influencers, both of them, bookstagrammers or book TikTok. I don't know which one it was, but they are book social media influencers, and she sees him as a rival. He doesn't necessarily think that, but anyway, they end up in the same program and they feel like they are rivals, but or she, I should say, she feels like he is her rival and is out to get her. But then they start doing this competition of, okay, who can find the person, their person, right, through dating in romance tropes. And so they go through different tropes, and obviously, right, they find each other. But I don't think that is a spoiler at all. That's just the way romance books go, right? So that is a romance rivalry. And I think it had a pretty healthy relationship, especially for young people. So I really enjoyed that. And I also liked like her bestie relationship, the girl relationships, when they have good girl, like same gender relationships too. I really like that. So the Romance Rivalry by Susan Lee, excited for that, for you, well, for you all to read it. The next one is First Time Caller by BK Borson. I had heard so many good things about this, and I kept putting my Libby, like, oh, put my hold later, because I had so many things on my TBR list that I had to keep punting on First Time Caller. But why was I waiting for so long? Because it is so freaking cute, you guys. I don't know why. I don't know why I put it off, and she already announced the second one, so I'm really excited for that to be coming. But I love the way, so there's several things that just stuck with me, but the female main character does these impressions of the male main character, and I totally do that with my husband, where the voice is completely not the same voice as my husband. It's just to differentiate, right? Like, he doesn't talk like this, but that's how I imitate him. When I tell him, like, oh, remember when you said, hey, why'd you buy that extra book? Or I don't know what he says, but you know, we all do those things. So I loved that that was in there because I could relate, and I was just giggling to myself. And there were so many things like that that just made me giggle and laugh out loud. Plus, the 12-year-old, I am a mom, and the 12-year-old wanting her mom to be happy was like, and going out of her way to do these things, right? And she gets into trouble along the way by mom, who, when she discovers that her 12-year-old is calling into the radio station to try to find happiness for her mom, right? It's just super cute. And then the dynamic with her baby daddy, who actually is gay, and so there's like this family, but like it's her best friend, right? It's her best friend, and they live next door, and so they have this family with him, the husband, and mom or female main character, and her daughter right? Like, it's just super cute, and to see like him wanting so much for her. Hi. Hi. Shit, I gotta get like super close. Shimon. Did I say that right? Shimon. Hi, Shimon. Thank you for saying hi and welcome. I'm just doing a recap of my June reads, and a lot of times I tend to go long, but if you read First Time Caller and have thoughts, that's what I'm talking about right now. Um, so yes, I love the bond with her, her daughter, her baby daddy's husband, and just the family that they create. Not all families look one way, and that's totally okay, right? And that is healthy for our kids to see. And yeah, there are a lot of things that I loved about that. I didn't love. This is, well, that is a spoiler, so I'm not going to say it. But there was a thing that I didn't absolutely love. Um, so I'm going to leave that out of this one. But if you want to have a separate talk about this book specifically, or any book that I mention, drop it in the comments. Happy to make a longer video where we talk about, or we could do a live about a specific book, right? And talk books. I love this. I love this because I don't necessarily have people that love the same books in real life. Maybe I need to go find those. I need to go to more like events in person, because the Jesse Q. Sutanto event I went to was really fun. Um, anyway, so that's what it is, okay? Otherwise, I loved it, and I can't wait for the Jackson Delilah story, where there were some like little previews throughout and sprinkled. So can't wait to hear their story as well. But again, that was First Time Caller by BK Borison. I gave it 4 stars, because like I said, there's this thing that I was just like, "Ooh." But other than that, loved it, and can't wait for the next one. Okay, the next one I read was Together We Roared alongside Tiger for his epic 12-year 13 majors run by Steve Williams, who was his caddy. So if you haven't been here for very long or at all, I love books of all genres. So I'm jumping around on all kinds of genres, right? Like there's personal growth, there's biographies, there's romance, there's romantasy, there's all kinds of stuff. So this one was like the Tiger Woods Steve Williams story, told by his caddy. And I love biographies because you see the story of these really famous people or these really successful people as we see in our eyes, right? And all that goes into that, and the story we do not see, right? They're finally writing it, and I know they're still writing it, and so there might still be a bias of what they want to share versus what they don't want to share, but you see these insights into people, into personalities, into what it takes to really make greatness and how it impacts people. Because yes, Tiger was this like unicorn person, right? And the caddy that was there, like he does so much, right? For the golfer. Of course, the golfer has amazing talent, but the caddy is also crucial for helping that person obtain that level of success as well. And his life was changed forever as well in so many different ways. And I think we often forget about how the fame and the all of that impacts the people that surround them as well. And so it was a fascinating read to hear all that was going on through it all, and to hear their relationship and how they tried to keep like personal separate. It's kind of like learnings from the past of people that Steve had worked with. And so all of that is just a fascinating peek behind the curtain. And that's why I absolutely love biographies or autobiographies or all of those. I love reading about celebrities and oftentimes the really hard road that they went on. Great personality. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I do this because it's fun, and I do this because I get to share this with people. So thank you. I really appreciate your comment. All right, Caught Up. Caught Up by Nevessa Allen. Let's talk about this one, because first of all, I have seen a lot of reviews where people were like, let down, it's not great, Lights Out was so good. It's a different book. I know it's in the same series, but it is a different book. And so if people were expecting the same exact thing where it was like super funny, like in the same way because Josh was kind of a goofball, right? That is not the case in this one. I'm going to first off say the audio was fantastic. Teddy Hamilton did a great job with it. Okay, with that said, I was really, really looking forward to this one. I wanted to love it. We saw a little glimpse of Junior in Lights Out, and so it was kind of a setting up for the next one too, right? it's really hard when people compare it to Lights Out because there are things that are similar, but Lights Out, I laughed out loud in a lot of places, whereas Caught Up was not the same. But then I am glad that the characters from Lights Out, and again, I'm trying not to spoil it, but their characters like Josh and Allie do appear in Caught Up, and they actually play a pretty like significant role. And so it was great to see that. And so if you're reading Caught Up, go read Lights Out first because you get more of the background there of what's going on, and you'll see that thread throughout Caught Up also. I gave this book 3 stars, even though I loved the audio and I really appreciated the story, but I did feel like Junior was a little one dimensional. Um, I felt like him being forced into the family business that he didn't want to do, which is like the mobster realm, like yeah, and then being forced away. It's essentially like he's forced into the mob business, and there's Romeo and Juliet-ness because there's shame towards like who he wanted to be with, and I think it was in like high school or something like that, and so um, it was just, I don't know, it felt like it was hammering the same thing home over and over and over, and it was a bit one-dimensional, and I didn't see him change significantly in personality either, like the character development. I was hoping for more, but alas, I think I also hope for redemption in the bad people, the villains of the story, and that didn't really happen either. So I guess all of that to say it just felt all kind of one-dimensional, even though I did enjoy different parts. Like I said before, every book has like things that I really enjoy and take away from it. I did love how he was and how sweet he was, even though on the outside he's like this super mobster, um, like take care of the bad stuff guy, right? But inside he's a teddy bear. Inside he's soft. Inside, like he just wants to protect the person that he cares for, right? And so you see that. And then you also see Junior's mom. I love that because behind every strong man or like head person, right, there's a strong woman that is moving things around. And his mom was one of those people. And being a boy mom, I think there was a lot that I felt um, through her. So that was one thing that I really enjoyed about this. But like I said, this book is not going to be for everyone. It is very spicy. It is like a stalker mobster. There's a lot of death and stuff like that, right? So if that is not okay with you, this is not the book for you. But if you are, then go check it out. Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I made a whole video about why everyone should go read this. I absolutely gave it 5 stars. This is my first book by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I have several other books of hers that I have had on my TBR for a long time, like the Seven Lives of Evelyn Hugo. Say that 5 times fast. But this was the first book that I read or listened to, the audiobook. Julia Whalen is fantastic. I will read anything she reads. Loved it. So this is about the first women astronauts in space. And while it's kind of like historical romance, it was just so much more of love on all different levels. So there is this spoiling it? Okay, I don't want to say it because I don't know if it's spoiling. But if you want to talk about this, go to my video where I talk specifically about Atmosphere, because I want to talk about this book. It is so good. There are so many different, really deep themes about love, how you can't choose the people you love, and there's sometimes like you can't love out loud for various different reasons. And while there is heartbreak, there is just redemption in all of that also, and how there are people that will accept you for who you are, and all the different levels. And I'm just getting teary like thinking about it. Yeah. And there's also this thing, like she has a niece that she absolutely loves, and her sister is not a great mom. And she is there for her niece and loves her like a daughter. And there's just so many things in that relationship, and so many heartbreaking things too, for that niece. But you go through this emotional roller coaster with them, and Taylor Jenkins Reid just does a great job of bringing us on the journey through it all. There's a huge part of found family in that astronaut class. You, if you can say, like all the people that started training at the same time, there's just this camaraderie and this love that is built between them, and it becomes a family. And um, yeah, yeah. And then you see the breaking of like ceilings, right, for women, and being able to be the first women astronauts, and what that means to them and what they go through, especially in this male dominated world, and so many things. Oh my gosh, I can go on and on, but again, I made a whole video about it, so I'm gonna pause there. Just 5 stars, go read it. If you loved it, I want to know. Generally, you love reading history books. History of the world is very interesting. I just respect people. Do you have relaxing time to read another books? Yeah, yeah, I love history too, and I need to read more historical fiction books, or history non-fiction books too. My husband is really, really big into nonfiction and biographies, and just learning about different time periods and countries and stuff. So maybe I should do like a I read some of his books, and he has tried reading some of my books too. Like I said, I read all genres, but he has tried reading some of my fiction ones with me, like the Fourth Wing series he read with me, which I was really excited about when he said yes to that. Maybe I'll try to get him to read something else too, and I will read some of his. He reads like monster biographies sometimes of like presidents, and I don't know if I go there when there's like 3 parts and they're all like 20 hours or something. But maybe we'll do an exchange and see. If any of you are interested in seeing what that exchange looks like, let me know. Okay, the last book that I finished just in time was Sponsor Magnet by Justin Moore. This is like a how to attract, price, and execute your dream brand partnerships, because that's something that I have thought about a lot as far as monetizing YouTube, not just monetizing from an ad sense, but how do you take the people that resonate with you and get brand sponsorships and all that kind of stuff, because I keep hearing over and over that you don't have to have like a million subscribers to do these sponsorships, right? And I've already worked with some brands, but to talk about more of the larger brand sponsorships and not just collabs on a few different things, but how can you do that on a longer term, and how can you develop these relationships with brands that you really care about and that you could do good work together? And so it was a fascinating read into that. Justin has all kinds of stuff, courses and YouTube channel and all these things. He's worked in the agency side too, so a lot of great knowledge. If you have not picked those up, go pick them up. I have all the, or I will link all of these books and my Amazon suggestions on there, the links, so you can go pick them up easily. All of these, I mean, I know I rated some lower than others, but I would read all of them again. I don't regret reading any of them, and I would love to know what you have read in June, or what you did read in June. And right now, like I said, I'm reading Severed Heart by Kate Stewart, which I know is going to wreck me emotionally, and I don't know why I started it on the plane, but I absolutely did. And here's another one. This is the first. Is it the first a PR book that I got from Bloomsbury? It's the Creator Circle. It's just a Bloomsbury Creator Circle. So if you also are curious about different like influencer programs to be a part of for different publishers, I can make a video about that as well. But I'm really excited about this. Welcome to the Hyunam Dong Bookshop. It is translated from Korean, but I think I resonate with it a lot, where the main character is burnt out did everything she was supposed to do, and then it all fell apart, right? Um, she felt like she had like the dream life that people said, right? But then it all falls apart. And she ends up finding refuge in opening a bookshop and all the things that happen through that. And I have not read it yet, but I'm really excited to get to this. If you have read it, let me know. It is a national bestseller. National in Korea, national in the US. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to go look, but this was one of the ones I could request from the creator circle, and this really, really spoke to me. Yeah, anyway, I'm really excited for it, and maybe after my heartbreak of Severed Heart, this is where I'm going next. And I really want to start annotating, so maybe I'm going to start annotating, and I'm going to ask this in a different book also, but or different video also, but I want to do a little free library. I'm going to start looking at Amazon Prime to see if there's a little free library sale, so I can go grab those, at least for some sort of deal. I love deals. But I'm thinking about putting annotated books in there, and I don't know if they'll ever come back or not. I would love to hear your thoughts of whether you think they'll come back, because I want it to be like a library where then people annotate it themselves also, and then at the end of the year or something, I can see like a book with all the things that like random people wrote in it, and hopefully people aren't mean and trash it or like put nasty notes in it just because they think it's funny or whatever, but I hope that it becomes like a fun thing. So I don't know, maybe I'll try it and let you know what that looks like. If you want to follow along, let me know. Comments are always useful to understand what you want to see more of or what you appreciate and all that. So okay, what is it, 32 minutes? That was pretty good for me. We're not going super off tangent. But if you want to see more of these lives too, let me know. I might make these at least monthly for the monthly recap, and then we'll have more in-depth ones as well. And if you want to join me for the Severed Heart Fable monthly book club, I will put that link as well. But I'm also, oh shoot, is it under Whole Wellness Mamas? It might be the Whole Wellness Mamas. I can't remember if my handle is Amyns Reads or Whole Wellness Mamas, but it's one of those two. So I know the book club is at least called Whole Wellness Mamas Book Club. So you can go look that up in Fable, and we just do a monthly book club, and you can go at your own pace because you just go to the chapter and you can write whatever comments you want into the chapter. So there is no spoilers until you get there and you open that tab for whatever chapter you want to go to. So I think it might be a fun thing. We're just starting it. We're getting a little momentum. So head in there. We've started it. Join in at any time. All right. That's it. Thanks, friends, for being here. Talk to you soon.